29 games. That is the number of titles that shipped with the PlayStation 2 when it launched on October 26th. Who amongst us experienced that launch firsthand?
I did, working at Electronics Fatigue. So.
Corey, I mean, what do you remember from... Because it was a big, crazy time. It was on the news. Yeah. People were waiting. Like, what was your experience at the PS2 launch?
So we had been getting a lot of the peripherals and games in early, and I do remember working on on midnight going into October 26th in the Walden Galleria Electronics Boutique in Buffalo, New York, and the line was just like out the door and all along the wall. And everybody was super excited. I don't remember so many games, though. Like, looking at this list of launch games, I don't remember this many being available, like, right away. But, I mean, most of these people were buying Tekken Tag, Ridge Racer 5, Madden.
Heck yeah. You got that 2001?
But the biggest surprise to me was the amount of people buying SSX, because that was a game that at the time I was not really familiar with. And from my point of view, that was the game that was kind of this breakout hit that nobody was talking about it ahead of time. And then people got it home and everyone was saying, like, this is awesome. But I remember everybody just being so excited, and I did not have one pre-ordered myself. But after that night finished, there was one system left. And I bought that system. And I was terrified to tell my girlfriend at the time that I bought it, because she was like, why did you spend $300 that you don't have? Because I was a stupid college kid, like with a credit card that I don't know how I'm going to pay it back, but I'm going to,
So at the end of that evening, you walked home with a brand new PlayStation 2 memory card. Oh, I thought I was going to say you didn't. I thought you got Cue Ball Billiards Master.
No, the only game that I ended up buying, maybe like a day or two later, was Gun Griffin Blaze.
Oh my god!
Because of Working Designs, wasn't it? I knew it.
Yeah. Well, it was under their Spaz label, which at the time, I know, right? It's
greatest logo of all time.
They had two like launch window games. It was that and Still Feed the Lost Planet.
Yes.
Yep. But Gun Griffin Blaze was the first one released. One thing I do want to think about the launch and is the amount of these games that shipped on CDs versus DVDs.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
It was amazing to me because I don't think it was like talked about that much. That the games would ship on CDs or DVDs depending on like what they required.
So let's talk about that real quick. So let me first read a quote from somebody that worked in the system. He says, PlayStation 2's real-time graphics have no limitations. That's why I chose the color black, as it represents the infinity of the universe. The blue represents the intelligence and life sprouting up. The thing that struck me was that he specifically mentioned the blue color, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is in the promo material for the PS2. You often saw the blue disc in the drive or alongside the
upside
system.
down.
Except for
it was like always in the tray upside down. So,
always in the tray upside down. But guess what? Those weren't DVDs. Those were the CDs.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? So
because I think that we thought that it was going to be, that's what the CDs were going to look like, because the black CDs on the PS1 were so different. Like, oh, this is what they're going to make DVDs look like.
Yeah. I didn't know for a long time that those were CDs.
I always wondered if that was the intent, and maybe there was some technical reason why DVDs with their more like densely populated like tracks wouldn't work that well with the color.
It's probably good. Probably a good theory, I would say.
So as a result, any game on a CD shipped on a blue disc, and any game on a DVD shipped on a silver disc, and then any game on a dual layer DVD shipped on a gold disc.
I found it really impressive just how insane the confidence Sony had in the hardware, like in the fact that it just was shipping in this blue box with the logo on it.
Gorgeous.
It's an amazing box for these systems, and it is just it just shows insane confidence. That, like, that's all you need to say on it.
Y2K the box.
I have a question for you, Corey, having worked on it, because here in Europe, at least, and I think in the US it was the same, but like the discourse that I noticed that was different from PlayStation, Super Nintendo, and 64 was that there was a new demographic of people talking about it because specifically they were going to watch their disc of The Matrix on it. And I remember so many people here had The Matrix on DVD before they even had a PlayStation 2 or a DVD player of any kind. But like they were specifically getting this system as a multimedia system. It was basically the CDI that I wish it was. And I was just curious if customers came in for specifically like, hey, this is my DVD player.
Sure. And I mean, I think that came out on DVD just like a month before the system came out.
Right.
Because I remember a friend getting it on DVD the day that it came out. I had a DVD player like going back to like 1997.
Whoa.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah, I got it.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Those were
I
like
had one
500
before
bucks at the
PS2,
time.
but not. Yeah, I didn't have that early.
It was right after I had started working at Electronics Boutique, and I worked with a guy who was always all about like getting like the cutting edge. He's the guy who had 2 Voodoo 2s and
everyone
SLI
has
set
everyone
up.
has this guy in the street. The guy with
he's
the
like, "Oh, you
sound
gotta get-"
system, the hi-fi system that you can hear down the street, who has the newest shit.
Yep.
Like everyone had
He's like,
that
"You gotta
guy
get
in
a
the
DVD
street.
player." So I got a Toshiba DVD player along with Starship Troopers. So it was the DVD aspect was not a big selling point for me, but it certainly was.
Well,
Yeah.
for general,
Well,
though,
I mean,
Yeah, I
For-
almost
for
feel like
me, it
The Matrix
was.
is probably the best selling game for the PS2.
Yeah,
I think it's
I probably would have.
systems.
I probably would have waited until closer to like when Final Fantasy X and Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, but I got mine a bit earlier because of the DVD functionality. In fact, I convinced my parents to get it for me for my birthday on virtue of the fact that it was a DVD player as well, right? And I remember my first experience with DVD was also my friend who got a PS2 many months before I did. He rented Jackie Chan's Legend of Drunken Master. And the fact that you could hit that start button and you just got this crystal clear paused image. I don't have much experience with Laserdisc, so I don't know if maybe it's also pretty clear when you pause it. But like going from VHS, it jitters a lot when it's
CAV
paused.
Laserdisc could do that.
Yeah.
CLV I think could have some jitter.
Yeah. But that blew my mind. I don't think people can really understand, maybe who are a little younger, how mind-blowing that was. The idea that you could pause a movie and look at a frame and like, oh, what's that in the background, and go back and review it like that. That was absolutely mind-blowing because VHS just looked nothing like that. That was the moment, I think, really more than anything that made me want a PS2 was DVD.
That's so interesting because I know Laserdisc was not a big thing over here, but Laserdisc allowed you to use it. They usually had this like shuttle or jog wheel on the controller. You could quickly sift through everything frame by frame on a Laserdisc and like go fast, slow, dial it in. It was so granular and so fast. DVD players couldn't actually match that early on. In terms of the fluidity, the Laserdisc, it's like, it felt like you were like a DJ spinning the Laserdisc kind of. It was like rolling back and forth through it. It was so freaking cool. But DVD's actual video quality was a step up.
It was
absolutely for sure. And if people haven't seen a DVD on a CRT recently, like, oh man, that brings me back to that very first experience of being blown away by DVD because it still looks, CRT hides, the macro blocking and MPEG compression artifacts so clearly. I mean, it holds up great.
It does.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I would agree. And, man, did anybody ever have one of those combo players that could play Laserdiscs and DVDs?
No, because those were like $1,500, dude.
Man, I wanted one of those, dude.
Corey could barely afford the PlayStation 2, and here you're asking if he had a combo player? Come on, man.
But let's rope it back in. So Corey, you worked a launch. For me, I did not work the launch, but I went to a launch. So right as we got close to the launch of the system, my initial idea was like, I'm good. I have my Dreamcast. I can wait on PS2. And then, or a couple of weeks out from launch, and I'm like, wait, I can't wait. I need to get this.
I need this.
And then what I ended up doing is going up to the Best Buy in where is it? It's in Florence, Kentucky.
Florence, you and I went to the Best Buy. I mean, I can confirm how much this experience means to John, because he was just waxing nostalgic about, yes, I was lined up right up to there. And
there I was sitting around on the side of the building, nestled against that pipe, you know, and that little. So we camped
It's great
out.
that it's still there.
It was fun, man. Like,
it's a nice Best Buy today, by the way. Like
it is. It's a nice one.
It's like the best Buy I've seen in the U.S. in a long time.
Best Buy. I'm glad it's still there. It was a huge one, and it's still a good one. And yeah, they didn't actually do a midnight launch. They did a store opening launch, but that didn't mean that people didn't show up. And like, I got there a little bit too late. I was around the front of the building, down the side halfway with some friends. I gave it my best shot. I came in late. You know, we played games, hung out. It was just a good old time. And then the store opens up. You know, the line starts to move, and by the time I get to the front, you know, they start saying, we're probably not going to have enough units after this point in the line. And sure enough, they didn't. So I didn't get it on day one. As a consolation prize, I bought a copy of Tokyo Extreme Racer 2 for my Dreamcast. But thankfully, 2 weeks later, there's friends I mentioned that had imported a PS2 that worked at GameStop said, hey, we got an extra one in. Why don't you come on up and get it?
Heck yeah.
Nice.
And so I ran up there and I picked it up with a copy of SSX because, like Corey said, the hype around SSX was big. I was already a huge fan of the Tony Hawk games at that point. So like these extreme sports, it was starting to get me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give SSX a shot. This looks great. And it absolutely blew me away. Of course, within the first week of that, I also picked up Ridge Racer 5, Tekken, and a memory card.
Which were expensive.
And then which were expensive, but you know, compared to modern day prices, not so bad.
But by the time I got my PS2, memory cards were extremely scarce, and my only option was actually to buy the Mad Catz version, but it was like using the Sony Magic Gate branding. So it was like Sony just needed to, like, I guess they helped manufacture just to keep up with demand. They were very hard to come by.
What's also hard to come by was that goddamn DVD remote. Do you remember that? Like, I didn't buy a PlayStation to get DVD player, but I just remember my friend could not source one for months. It was so hard to find, at least here. And when he got it, it was not very good.
At least the DVD functionality wasn't locked behind having the remote and the receiver.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. That is true. Can you imagine?
Later, yeah.
That probably had a significant impact on, you know, the balance of power between those consoles in America, at least.
Looking back, I genuinely think that the launch of PS2 was really good. I think there's a lot of good games there, more than people gave it credit for at the time. Yeah, the US launch. It's a good launch. And I also think that the PS2, in context of that time period, this mix of having all these games, the compatibility with PS1 and the DVD support all together made it a very compelling product. Like for me as well, by that point, my PlayStation 1 had pretty much died. I was playing it upside down, and even then it didn't work right. It actually had died at that point, and I had switched for the last year, I guess for the last 6 months or so before PS2 launched, I switched to using Virtual Game Station on my PC to play PS1 games. So I didn't want to miss out on games like Chrono Cross, right? And so, but it was not the best experience, shall we say. So when PS2 actually launched and I got it, I could properly play these games on original hardware with enhancements when they worked. Because that was one of the things, is it allowed you to, one, enable texture filtering, which actually wasn't great.
No.
But two, you could also turn on faster loading, which when it worked, was not bad.
I never turned it on. I was always skeptical of it.
Yeah, when it worked, it broke some games, but I remember the first time I even tried backwards compatible like texture filtering. I used Rapid Reload as my game, and 2D games.
Not a good choice on that one.
I mean, I have fond memories. I played a lot of like Valkyrie Profile and Chrono Cross and everything.
Parasite
that
Eve, I
winter.
remember I played with that texture.
Man,
It looked good at the time.